You're tuned to Arrow FM, your local community access radio station. The time now is 8 o'clock, time for another hour of the great music that came out in the 1960s with the 60s Nostalgia Show. The 60s Nostalgia Shows are kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. Cotter and Stevens have been in the Wairarapa for a long time. In fact, they've been here even longer than what Queen Elizabeth II reigned over in the UK. I think Cotter and Stevens came here in the 1940s, and they are general contractors in the electrical field, whether that be private or commercial. Got a cracker of a show lined up tonight, and I'll explain a little bit more about it after we take into account a couple of milestones. But the show is going to be all about the British invasion of the States in the 1960s, and there's some great beat songs and different sorts of songs that all form parts of that British invasion. Meanwhile, though, we'll kick off with a milestone, and on this day in 1948, the drummer Kenny Jones was born. Of course, Kenny Jones is the last surviving member of the Small Faces, and when that band sort of disappeared when Steve Marriott left, he remained in the band, and they changed to the Faces, backing Rod Stewart, and also Kenny Jones has played with The Who as well. Still alive and very much involved with charity things over in the UK, and also I think he has got a polo academy somewhere in the UK. Kenny Jones, a great drummer, and guy's been around for a long time, and I thought we'd play two Small Faces tracks, and I'm sure the station managers are going to be wrapped with these.
Listen to my reasoning, but now I see you don't hear a thing. Try to make you see how it's got to be. Yes, it's alright, all or nothing. Yeah, yeah. Just like I want them to, yeah. If I could have the other half of you, yeah. You know I would, yeah. If I only could. Yes, it's all or nothing. Oh yeah, all or nothing. You hear my children sing. Oh, soldier that wants to jump into your fire. You are a look in your eye, a dream passing by in the sky. I don't understand, and all I need is treat me like a man, 'cause I ain't no child, take me like I am. I got to know that I belong to you. I do anything that you want me to. I sing any song that you want me to sing to you. Hello, smiles melting the snow, nothing hurt. Your eyes, they're deeper than time. Say a love that won't rhyme without words. So now I've lost my way. I need help to show me things to say. Just give me your love before mine fades away. I gotta know that I belong to you.
Two tracks there from one of the underrated groups from the UK, the Small Faces. This week on the media, of course, lots of coverage from Her Majesty's passing last week, and been doing a little bit of reflecting on what she basically reigned over in her 70-odd years on the throne, and what changes have happened in the world. And as an example, I suppose, shortly after she was crowned Queen, Everest was conquered for the first time. And then there was the Korean War, the Suez Crisis, and other crises around the world, and all sorts of change, men getting flown into space, landing on the moon, and all the rest of it. And she would have also been much interested in what is known as the British invasion, and that, of course, is the invasion of the American airwaves from British groups and British singers following the Beatles' appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show on the 6th of February. And so I thought I'd have a look to see some of those songs that were appearing on the American charts from English artists, and there's a huge number of them. So what I decided to do is look at the charts immediately after the Beatles' appearance, and have a look through the following months up to January 1965, and a huge number of British acts, and not only a large number, but also an incredible percentage of them reaching the top 10, the top 5, or even the top spot, and also a variety of sounds as well. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight, and I haven't got enough time tonight to get through them all, so I think we'll continue next week as well, because there are cracker songs in there. Before we get on to that, just in regard to the Beatles, on this day in 1963, the Beatles released She Loves Me on the Swan record label in America, and while it was at number one in the UK, it was ignored in the States until 1964, where it reached the top of the Billboard charts. And an interesting follow-up to that, EMI Records, that recorded the Beatles on the Parlophone label, also had ownership of the Capitol record label in the States, who just basically refused to release the early Beatles singles. So that's why they were released on different labels. What I've done in this list I've got is I've ignored all the Beatles songs that were in the record charts. Otherwise we'd be playing a huge amount of Beatles songs. All I can say is that they were in the top 100 on the charts that I was looking at every month from February 1964 to 1965, and I think they basically never stopped for quite a while. The highlight, I suppose, was in April 1964, where the Beatles had the top 5 of the top 10 on the Billboard 100, and that's a feat that has never been repeated since, and probably will never be repeated. So they owned the top 5 songs on the charts for the week of the 14th of April 1964, and not only that, they had 12 songs in the top 100 on the Billboard chart, with the lowest ranking being number 79. So here we go, we'll crack into these British Invasion songs, and I've just selected them month by month, and we'll start off with February 1964, which was the chart just straight after the Beatles had appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. And interestingly enough, I think the chart when the Beatles were on the Ed Sullivan Show, the top of the charts then was this song from Dusty Springfield.
Doesn't matter where you
The Dave Clark 5 there, and Glad All Over. And the next one, that was in the top 100 of the charts I was looking at. They're actually from the New York radio station WABC, and they had Needles and Pins from the Searchers at number 13. The Searchers and Needles and Pins. What I did when I was working out what to play tonight, each time a song popped up, I made a note of it. And one thing I did notice is that most of the songs stayed in the charts for weeks and weeks, if not months, and at various times there would have been a huge number of British tunes on the charts, but the way I calculated it by putting down the name the first time it came in, generally each month there was probably 4 or 5, sometimes 6 new songs from British acts, which is pretty incredible when you think of it. Right, 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, and let's move into March 1964, and I think we'll play these songs 2 at a time.
For goodness sake, I got the hippie, hippie shakes. Yeah, I got the shakes. I got the hippie, hippie shakes. Oh, I can't sit still with the hippie, hippie shakes. Yeah, I feel now with the hippie, hippie shakes. Yeah, it's in the bag. Oh, the hippie, hippie shakes.
Dusty Springfield there, Stay a While, and before that the Swingin' Blue Jeans and Hippie Hippie Shake. They brought the time to 28 minutes after 8 o'clock here on Arrow FM, and you're listening to the 60s Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. Right, next up we'll have another two in a row. I just noticed the Hippie Hippie Shake song was actually a cover version of a song that originally was released in the US, and during the British invasion the British bands did a number of cover versions of American songs, sold them over in the States and outsold the original. Dave Clark 5 were a really popular band over in the States, and here's their second entry, and we'll follow that one up with Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas.
Your father won't understand. I wish they would take a nap. don't you go bye-bye. Go anywhere, little children, I know you would go if you tried. Go up the stairs, me and your sister, we'll go and say, how can I kiss her when I'm ready to? With little children like you around, I wonder what can I do around little children like you.
Billy J. Crane and the Dakotas and Little Children. You're listening to the 60s Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Carter and Stevens, the electrical wizards down in Martinborough. And tonight we're playing songs from the British invasion of the States, and in particular the songs in the charts for the year immediately after the Beatles' appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. We've got to April 1964, and here's another cover version by the Hollies of a song first put out by an American soul singer called Doris Troy, and the song's called Just One Look.
Just one look, that's all it took, yeah, just one look. That's all it took, yeah, just one look. And I felt so I'm in love with you. Oh, I found out how good it feels to have your love. Say you will, I will be mine forever and always. Just one look, and I knew that you were my only one. I thought I was dreaming, but I was wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, but I'm gonna keep on scheming till I can make you mine. So you see, I really can't without you. I'm nothing. Just one look, and I know I'll get you someday. I thought I was dreaming, but I was wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, but I'm gonna keep on scheming till I can make you mine. Just one look, that's all it took. Yeah, 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 just one look. Sugar and spice and all things nice, kisses sweeter than wine. Sugar and spice and all things nice, you know that little girl is mine. Everybody stops and stares at my baby when she's walking down the street. People passing by just look at my baby, 'cause my baby looks so sweet. You know she's sugar and spice and all
sweeter than wine. Sugar and spice and all things nice. You know that little girl is mine.
The Searchers there, and Sugar and Spice. That was a song actually written by Tony Hatch, the a great composer of a lot of Pet Clark's songs, and he wrote that under a pseudonym of Nightingale. Hope you're enjoying these British songs, and when you start listening to just British songs from the invasion, you really can see why they were so successful when you compare what the American music scene and particularly the pop charts were like just immediately up to the Beatles' appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. If you have a look at those, and particularly probably from 1959 onwards, with the death of Buddy Holly, and Richie Valens, particularly music in America sort of lost direction, and there was a lot of things happening at the same time. Jerry Lee Lewis was in disgrace following his marriage to his cousin, and Little Richard was a preacher, and Chuck Berry in the early 1960s was actually in jail. So the American scene was fairly drab, to say the least. And if you look at the charts, say towards the end of 1963, some of the songs on those charts were there for an unknown reason, because a lot of them were rubbish. There was a lot of crooner type songs, instrumentals, orchestrals, and songs from people with limited talent. So you can start to imagine when all these songs started to get released by the British artists, that's why the Americans love them so much. Right, it's enough rambling from me. Next up, we've got a song written by a couple of guys, and they didn't need any pseudonyms. They just said Lennon and McCartney. This is A World Without Love, put out by Peter and Gordon.
Please lock me away and don't allow the day here inside where I hide with my loneliness. I don't care what they say, I won't stay in a world without love. Birds sing out of tune and rain clouds hide the moon. I'm okay, here I'll stay with my loneliness. I don't care what they say, I won't stay in a world without love. So I wait, and in a while I will see my true love smile. She may come, I know not when. When she does, I'll lose. So baby, until then, lock me away and don't allow the day here inside where I hide with my loneliness. I don't care what they say, I won't stay in a world without love. may come, I know not when. When she does, I'll know. So baby, until then, lock me away and don't allow the day here inside where I hide with my loneliness. I don't care what they say, I won't stay in a world without love. I don't care what they say, I won't stay in a world without love.
16 minutes to 9 o'clock here on Arrow FM, and we're getting to the end of April 1964, so I think this is probably going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get through the list, but the last two from April are a couple of bangers, both cover versions. The first one, Good Golly Miss Molly, was first put out by Little Richard, and the next one, Do You Love Me, was put out by the Contours. So we'll start off with the Swingin' Blue Jeans and finish with the Dave Clark 5.
Good golly, Miss Molly, yeah, you sure like the ball. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly, yeah, you sure like the ball. When you're shaking and you're shouting, can you hear your mama call? Well, from the early, early morning to the early, early night, when I come, Miss Molly rocking at the house of blue lights. Good golly, Miss Molly, you sure like the ball. When you're rocking and rolling, can you hear your mama call? Well, now Mama, Papa told me, son, you better watch your step. What I knew about Miss Molly, God, I was my dad and myself. Good golly, Miss Molly, yeah, you sure like the ball. When you're shaking and shouting, can you hear your mama call?
The Dave Clark Five there, and Do You Love Me? And last night, I don't think there was a heck of a lot of love floating around Marvel Stadium in Melbourne after the Bledisloe Cup game last night, which everyone has probably been talking about today. Interesting decision by the referee, but I think a well-deserved decision as well. The Aussies were certainly wasting time, and they can say whatever they like, but it's the old karma coming around again. The Australians were lucky that that guy wasn't sent off for that brutal act on the All Black second five. And also, you have a look at the last try that the Aussies scored. It was a blatant forward pass, and there was a good side-on view of it. The guy that passed the ball was behind the 22, and the guy that collected it was on the other side of the 22 by quite a margin, and the law of physics wouldn't have applied because, A, the ball... it didn't go out of the passer's hands backward, it went forward. And the guy that took the ball was virtually right alongside the guy who passed it. So therefore, the rules of physics wouldn't have had time to float the ball forward. So the Aussies were pretty lucky with that. The forward pass was actually going to be reviewed, but the Aussies got a little bit sneaky, and they kicked the conversion over before the review started, and so that's the reason why that song was allowed. Anyway, enough rambling about the footy. We've got time probably for another one or two, and next up we've got Diane by the Bachelors.
Smile for me, my Diane. I'm in heaven when I see you smile. See you smile. Smile for me, my Diane. My Diane. And though everything's dark all the while, I can see you, Diane. You have lighted the road leading home. Oh, pray for me when you can. When you can. But no matter wherever I roam, smile for me, my Diane. I'm in heaven when I see you smile. See you smile. Smile for me, my Diane. My Diane. And though everything's dark all the while, I can see you, Diane. You have lighted the road leading home. Oh, pray for me when you can. When you can. But no matter wherever I roam, smile for me, my Diane. My Diane.
dreams away and play at love. They give their love away to anyone who say I love you. Go out and have your fun. You better have your fun with anyone, but don't throw your love away. Don't throw your love away. No, 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 no. Don't throw your love away. For you might need it someday. Don't throw your love away. No, 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 no. Don't throw your love away.
The Searchers there with Don't Throw Your Love Away, bringing to a close another edition of the 60s Nostalgia Show, which was kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough, and the program was first broadcast all over the wonderful Wairarapa on Arrow FM 92.7. Well, that was a lot of fun, and I think we'll have to come back and do it next week and maybe part of the week after, because we've only got down to May, so we've got a lot of songs to do. So we'll dig them all out and bring them down next week for the next few months of 1964. Right, let's have a quick look at the weather forecast for the next few days here in the Wairarapa, and tonight going to be a bit chilly, get down to minus 2 degrees, but tomorrow it's going to be a great day, a top of 16 degrees, mainly fine with a morning frost. Nor'westers are dying out in the afternoon, and on Sunday a low of 1 degrees, a top of 18, mainly fine with morning frosts and light winds, and on Monday top of 18, a low of 4, mainly fine, northerlies developing. Yeah, the weather's certainly been a little bit strange in the past week, and I suppose typical spring weather where it is quite changeable, but today started off a beautiful day, and then mid-morning clouded over, and then we got some quite heavy showers at times, and the old temperature certainly cooled down. Right, time for me to disappear off home, but before I go I'll put on some commercial-free Kiwi music, and that'll take you right through until the next scheduled program, which I think is Pick and Mix at 9:30. I suppose we've had our dose of sport for the week last night. I'm not quite sure what the rugby is this weekend. I think it may well be the semi-finals or the finals of the NPC. I'm not quite sure. On Monday evening, our time from I think 7:30, there will be a special on the TV channels of the funeral and service of Queen Elizabeth II, and it's obviously going to take a long time, but one thing is going to be looked forward to, I suppose, is just how well the British do all the pomp and ceremony required on these large state occasions, and I think I'll probably be glued to the TV for quite a while on Monday, I think it is, Monday night, and as I said, I think the coverage starts around about 7:30 p.m. or something like that. Right, time for me to disappear. Take care over the weekend. Take care during the week, and we'll catch you next Friday night at 7 o'clock with the Blues Show and 8 o'clock with the 60s Nostalgia Show. You're tuned to Arrow FM, your local community access radio station that broadcasts all over the wonderful Wairarapa on Arrow FM 92.7 and elsewhere via our website arrowfm.co.nz, and you can also catch programs on Wairarapa TV, which is Freeview channel number 41. The time now is 2 minutes after 9 o'clock. Time for some commercial-free Kiwi music.